I'm gonna borrow your words, Elaine. One God singing the music of another. Man, truly, truly the sentiment being when God's walked among us. Let me tell you, man. Fantastic. I use that to describe Led Zeppelin and their extraordinary talent quite often. I'm definitely using that to describe that of Freddie Mercury. Look at the oceans, multitudes of people coming to pay tribute, to their hero, Freddie Mercury. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. And how appropriate that one of the best singers in the world, comparably shoulder to shoulder with Freddie, is covering one of his excellent, excellent hits. Can't do better than that. That's fantastic, man. Holy. That was fantastic. So, let's do a little background, man, on this song. Every song has a story, and I'm sure that this song has a really, really interesting story behind it. Definitely. Alright, just gotta make sure that I didn't close. There it is. Alright. So, Crazy Little Thing Called Love is a song by British rock band Queen, written by Freddie Mercury in '79. The track is included on their 1980 album, The Game, and also appears on the band's compilation album, Greatest Hits, in '81. The song peaked at number 2 in the UK singles chart in '79 and became the group's first number 1 single on the Billboard Hot 100 in the US in 1980, remaining there for 4 consecutive weeks. It topped the Australian ARIA charts for 7 weeks. Since its release, the song has been covered by a number of artists. The song was played live on the 20th of April in '92 during the Freddie Mercury tribute concert, performed by Robert Plant with Queen. Fantastic, that's what we just saw. Freddie Mercury wrote this while Queen were recording The Game in Germany. He wrote it while taking a bubble bath in his room at the Munich hotel. Peter Hintz, the head of Queen's road crew, recalled to Mojo magazine in September of 2009, quote, "The idea for the song came to him while he was in the bath. He emerged wrapped in a towel. I handed him the guitar and he worked out the chords there and then." Fred had this knack of knowing a great pop song, unquote. Freddie acknowledged that perhaps his limited talent on the guitar helped shape the song. And this is him, quote here, "Crazy Little Thing Called Love took me 5 or 10 minutes. I did that on the guitar, which I can't play for nuts, and in one way it was quite a good thing because I was restricted, knowing only a few chords. It's a good discipline because I simply had to write within a small framework. I couldn't work through too many chords, and because of that restriction, I wrote a good song, I think," unquote. Interesting. This was the first song on which Freddie Mercury played rhythm guitar. He was keen to keep the song minimal despite his limited guitar knowledge, and producer Mac claimed that he rushed into the studio to record it before Brian could get there, unquote. He also played the guitar solo on the original recording, but the tapes were lost, so Brian May played the solo instead, using a Fender Telecaster to achieve the period sound. May didn't seem to like playing another guitar, and even when playing live, after performing the solo on the Telecaster, he would immediately switch back to his Red Special. At first, this was not released in the US. Since the album was not yet out, radio stations there started playing import copies of the single. This led Queen's record company to release it in America about 3 months after it came out in England. Mercury's name is in the lyrics. He sings, "Are you ready?" and the band sings, "Ready, Freddie." This section took on a poignant edge after Mercury's death, when the song was performed with guest singers, as the lyric was never altered regardless of the vocalist. Fans would take this opportunity to bellow the "Ready, Freddie" lyric back at the band in remembrance of the singer. On stage, this was an important part of the show. Brian May often used 3 different guitars during the song. Yeah, and it goes on to talk about the specific guitars and all of that sort of thing. I'm going to skip that part. Sorry to you music people out there. The single was very successful for the band, hitting number 2 in the UK and becoming their first US number 1 hit. There's an unconfirmed legend commented on by Roger Taylor, on the radio show in the studio, and by Brian May on his website, that declares John Lennon was inspired by this song to go back to the music business. Whether it's true or false is still unknown, but it's a fact that Lennon listened to Queen and he did try new influences on his Double Fantasy album. Okay, and so that is Wikipedia Song Fact Info on this excellent song, man. What a great performance, I tell you, holy cow. The legacy that Freddie Mercury has left behind, being one of the best vocalists of all time, being one of the best creative writers of all time for the genre of classic rock, and being able to go in so many different directions and just stretch. I mean, the guy is channeling choir music, gospel singing, putting it into rock and roll, making it sound cool as hell. It's still cool, it's still embraced, it's still accepted, even by the metalheads. So, man, I'm telling you, that is a great accomplishment where creativity is concerned, where a great signature sound is concerned, where the essence coming from the singer and his influence over the band and everywhere else is concerned. Just an incredible legacy that he's left behind, man. Let me just scroll down here and just check my notes before I bounce. I left a number of notes here, man. Just a couple of days ago. So, okay, I'm not gonna take up too much time with these notes. I'll try and race through them quickly. So, man, note number 1, artist of the month for April is The Who. And starting tomorrow, I am going to be hitting The Who reactions hard, boy. I'm going to start with Meaty, Beaty, Big, and Bouncy. And I believe that that's a compilation album, as I'm being told by a number of you. And when I say a number of you, mainly patrons. So what I'm going to do here, man, is try something different where The Who is concerned for the month of April. Now, I had already sent out the poll, who do you recommend? You told me it was The Who, and then I sent another questionnaire poll asking, how do I proceed? Where do I start? How do I react? That sort of thing. And so here's the thing. I have been just completely overwhelmed with how many recommendations, where to start, all of that. It's just so much that I can't filter it. And when you have an information overload, you're basically just kind of like stagnant, I sat there for an hour trying to figure out where to start, how to pinpoint the starting point. And so I'm going to go through this a number of times in the future if I don't make a change or try to make something, approach it differently. I'm talking about Bob Dylan coming up in May. Man, The Who has a rabbit hole that's deeper and has more dimensions than Led Zeppelin. So if I am totally out of my depth now, think about when I get to May. So this is what I want to try with you, mainly patrons I'm talking to here. I want to do my first reaction because I looked through all of the recommendations and I came with this common thread being Meaty, Beaty, Big, and Bouncy. And I thought, okay, that's a good starting point. It's kind of like what I did with Neil Young. Started with the compilation, his best of, his very first best of, and it hit all of those important landmark songs that I didn't want to miss out on. Same thing I'm getting from this. So once I finish this, immediately I'm going to turn around and ask patrons again, what next? What do I react to next? And based on what you tell me, I'm going to sort it out and look at the common, most recommended, and then I'm going to react to that. and then the next reaction, and then the next reaction. So that's how I'm going to do it. Instead of basically jumping the entire field, I'm going to take one hurdle at a time. You see what I'm doing? So that's the method to my madness, and frankly, it's the only way that I will have any kind of bearing in regards to what to do, where to start, where to go, because there was just too much information. One patron sent me so many links and so much information just from that one patron alone. I was completely inundated and overloaded. And then when I counted up the next 50, oh man, I was done. I was just baked. So that's what I'm going to do going forward in regards to these artists that have a multitude of albums and lots of songs. So that's the only way that I could make sense out of where to start with The Who. So hope you understand. It might actually, I might not be able to do every single recommendation or whatever. Don't take it personal, but hey, you know, that's the only thing that I can figure out. And I've only got 1 month. I'm not going to do a 2-month episode or anything like that. I did that with Steely Dan, and into the second month it started to get a little bit tiresome. So I'm just going to limit it to 1 month, and then maybe down the road go back and do another month, that sort of thing, but not try to get the whole thing done in 1 month, or maybe even extending it into 2 months. Too much. So that is my note for The Who, where The Who is concerned. And moving on to my next note, my complimentary quads are still ongoing. Jack Saro, your quad is next, brother. So that's my update on complimentary quads. And I'm going to be okay. All right. So real quick here, man, on a serious note, Bill Withers has passed away today. Thank you very much for a number of you who sent me this notification. I appreciate it very much. Also, with that letting me know of his passing were also recommendations and questions. Are you going to do a tribute? And the answer to that is no, I'm not going to do a tribute to Bill Withers. He does fall outside of the parameters of classic rock. And what I'm going to do going forward with these great musical stars who are outside of the genre of classic rock is more than likely I'm going to basically just pay tribute to them in my own way. You know what I mean? What's happened here is this. Kenny Rogers passed 2 Saturdays ago. And let me read to you some of the comments that I received, both from patrons and subscribers, when I did a tribute reaction to the great late Kenny Rogers. Check this shit out. Quote, "This is not classic rock. Not even close. What's this shit? Your selections are getting worse and worse, man. Damn. Fuck this old man. Bring on the Zeppelin." And then there's a couple. I'm not gonna read it because I'm feeling it. I'm starting to get it. Anyway, oh yeah, Alan Merrill. He is a co-writer of the song "I Love Rock and Roll," and he died a few days ago of coronavirus. And I believe it was Nellie Bly. She said to me, "Hey, this great guy died." And check this out. Somebody came into the comments saying, who the fuck cares? Stop wasting time on these stupid tributes. So, going back to Kenny Rogers, can you believe, okay, the guy's not classic rock, but everyone knows about the renowned influence of Kenny Rogers. And the gent just passed away after spending 6 decades in the music business and giving us so much. Anyway, man, my point is this. All of those people that wrote these things, I blocked them immediately, including one patron who sent me a private message saying, "What the hell are you doing, man? You know, this isn't what I signed up for, you know." And what he's saying is, because he's a patron sending me money, he reserves the right to tell me what I should be doing on my channel. Dude, I don't care if you're a $50 patron. You're done, right? So I blocked all of these people. Anyway, man, I don't want to end this great reaction on a sour note, but I just wanted to give you, a lot of you, updates on why I am not doing tributes. Because, you know, I mean, there's a lot of great stars that's going to pass us outside of the genre of classic rock. And I've kind of hung myself by the tongue too, because I said that I want to stick within the parameters of classic rock. You know, of course, there are some exceptions. There are some overlapping lines there, but I don't want to go too far into it and basically lose the identity of the channel. And I'm not bowing down to these fools, but at the same time too, there is a point here, being that I want to stick with the parameters of classic rock. So going forward, if I ever do anything outside of classic rock, it's going to be in the form of a different channel covering, I don't know, jazz, R&B, hip, whatever the case may be. But for now, I'm going to stick to the classic rock format. The odd time I might do a tribute to like a Kenny Rogers, or to like a sorry, my mind is shutting down here. I'm tired after a long day. Johnny Cash, sorry. Yeah, so, you know, because Johnny, he's crossed over and he appeals to a wide variety of people. So there are sometimes some exceptions, but I'm going to try and stick close to the classic rock format. So I just wanted to answer a lot of your inquiries as to why I might not be doing a Bill Withers tribute. And that's the reason why, okay? Just so you know. Anyway, man, I can't believe some people. Wow. So on to, or back to Queen, man. These guys, where would modern music be without the presence of Queen? Not a day goes by where I don't hear Bohemian Rhapsody somewhere. And the influence of these guys, especially Freddie, is just astounding. And I'm not going to be surprised if and when they do become Artist of the Month. And they've threatened Artist of the Month 5 or 6 times in the last year or so. So it won't be a surprise when that happens, you know. So anyways, this was a great quad. Elaine, thank you again. And I appreciate you sending me this great quad and sharing the live footage with us, man. That was really excellent, man. Fantastic. They are just as impressive live as they are in the studio. And talent is talent, man. And Freddie had so much of it. He's still missed. It's still to this day, I hear him being talked about constantly. I see a lot of reaction channels doing a lot of Queen, and definitely Freddie is in the center apex of all of that. So fantastic artist and a great group all the same. Anyway, I'm gonna bounce, man, but thank you very much. Sorry for the small rant there, had to get that out, but I will definitely be looking to do more Queen down the road. So you guys take care, and I'll catch you in my next complimentary quad. Peace.